Welcome to Salad with a Side of Fries. I'm your host, Jen Trepic, talking wellness and weight loss for real life. We're here to clear up the myths, misinformation, bad science, and marketing to teach you how to eat and how to cheat. Are you ready? I'm having salad with a side of fries. This week, we're talking about Gatorade protein bars. And I think most of us are familiar with Gatorade, the brand of sports drinks. That's how I've always thought of them. I didn't know they had expanded their brand or their lines. I saw on Instagram, somebody posted about a Gatorade protein bar, and I was like, what? I didn't even know this was a thing. So needless to say, I was intrigued. I went digging deeper, and what I found left me with my jaw on the floor. So I went to Gatorade's website, and then honestly, it wasn't actually that easy to find the protein bars. And specifically, I was looking for the one that I saw somebody post about. So finally found the part on their website. Let's start with the marketing. So the Gatorade protein bar in their marketing says contains 20 grams of whey and milk protein to rebuild muscles after exercise. So, okay, mental note, their focus is on recovery. Okay, then they say refuels your body with 39 to 42 grams of carbohydrate energy per bar. And that's when I was like, whoa, 39 to 42 grams of carbohydrates per bar. I had to keep reading because I was like, wow. Okay. Then their marketing continues. Made with 20 grams of high quality whey and milk protein. We know that already. 340 to 360 calories per 80 gram bar serving. So this just seemed like, fundamentally, it feels like a lot of calories to me. But as we know, it's what the calories are made of that matter. But with this, I don't know, it kind of felt like they're just trying to put numbers out there to make it sound like something, whether or not it actually is. And then they say in their next marketing line, the protein bar used by the pros. And this just kind of made me laugh because we talk about it here, especially when we talked about the Olympics a few times, right? The professional athlete's day and our day or our workouts are probably not the same, and that's okay. So while for some of us it might be appealing to eat what the pros eat, right? Like a marketing point, I also think it's worth noting that that may not mean that it's appropriate for us, but we're going to keep looking at it. And then they tout that they are individually wrapped for a quick grab and go, which I would say I hope so, because aren't most of these protein bars? Okay, anyway, so that was all the marketing stuff. Then I went to the product details, and they say, built to recover when eaten after a game or practice, the Gatorade Recover Protein Bar provides high-quality protein to help muscles rebuild. And this was another flag for me because says, after a game or a practice, it makes me feel like they're marketing this for kids and teens, right? Like they are way more likely to have games or practice, like kids, teens, and then professional athletes. Like most of us aren't necessarily doing that. And then they say, refuel with carbs. When you exercise, you use carbs for energy that are stored in muscles. Refueling with carbohydrates is a critical step in being ready for your next workout. To this, I say, yes, and, right? That's not necessarily the whole story. And whether or not that's the case depends on your goals. Next, they comment on the protein, saying protein needs depend on several factors like age and exercise intensity, duration, and frequency. So I'm honestly dumbfounded here that they say this about the protein, but not about the carbohydrates. Like, that was sort of mind-boggling to me. Then again, they say serving size is 80 grams, 1 bar, and repeat, ideal for post-workout or games. So all of this has me like, I just need the nutrition facts. I looked at the peanut butter chocolate flavor because not only is that the one that I saw online, it's the flavor that I would be most likely to choose. And then on their website, it's sold out, which leads me to believe it's pretty popular and this is what people are eating. So let's look at what we're getting. So again, serving size 1 bar, as they told us. 360 calories. Again, it's what the calories are made of that we really want to know. So here we go. 13 grams of fat, of which it's 9 grams of saturated fat. 39 grams of carbohydrates, of which it's 1 gram of fiber. 24 grams of sugar, all of them are added sugar. 0 grams of sugar alcohols, and 20 grams of protein. And the micronutrients, there's 210 milligrams of calcium, 1.1 milligrams of iron. It's kind of funny. I don't even know why they mentioned that. It seems like so little, but whatever. And then 190 milligrams of potassium. So let's look at these numbers for a minute before we go to the ingredients. So 20 grams of protein is just shy of 3 ounces. It's like a snack size amount of protein, which is on par with what we'd be looking for like pre or post workout. On the carbs, our net carb count, did you catch it? It's a whopping 38. So this is more than 4 times the maximum we would want our net carb count to be from a single food. And with only 1 gram of fiber, this isn't even the quality carbohydrates that we'd be looking for in our day. And this certainly isn't sufficient for a snack. So I'm not sure, like pre or post workout, we often want protein on its own versus with lots of fiber. So okay on that front, but the carbs here are mostly sugar, and all of the sugar that's there is added sugar. So it's striking to me because the carbohydrates that serve us and serve our health, even post-workout, are complex carbohydrates, not the sugar bomb that they're essentially giving us. And then I have to go back to the fat for a moment. Okay, so 9 grams of fat is more than we like a packaged food to be, right? Ideally, we have our rule of 5, so we'd like the fat to be like 5 grams of total fat or less. But this is more, so it's 13 grams of total fat, not 9, 13 grams of total fat, which is like almost 2.5 times, right? Or like almost 3 times what we want that fat to be. And then it's 9 grams of saturated fat. So saturated fat is not the quality fat that our body needs. Now, we do need some saturated fat, but if you eat animal protein, like you're going to get the saturated fat that your body needs. And I mean, I'm dumbfounded. The 9 grams of saturated fat is a vast majority of the saturated fat that, those, while I'm not a big fan of the percent daily value information, if we put it in context here, it's kind of mind-boggling. So then if we look at, right, the amount of saturated fat plus the carbohydrates being sugar, this is recipe for blood sugar chaos in the body because, we'll look at where the fat's coming from and what the sugar sources are, but essentially with that kind of saturated fat and all of the sugar being added sugar, we're likely to see impaired insulin response, right? So, okay, let's go to the ingredients. Fair warning, this list is a little long, but here we go. The chocolate flavored coating is made of sugar, vegetable oil, which is palm kernel oil, sorbitan tristerate, and TBHQ, and citric acid to preserve freshness. Whey protein isolate, cocoa that was processed with alkali, natural flavor, soy lecithin, whey protein crisps, which are made of whey protein concentrate, cornstarch, calcium carbonate, peanut cream, which is made of peanuts vegetable oil, which is palm kernel oil and palm oil, then corn syrup solids, dextrose, sugar, salt, sorbitol, non-fat dry milk, natural flavor, soy lecithin. Then there's corn syrup, brown sugar, caramel, which is made of glucose syrup, sugar, palm oil, non-fat milk, glycerin. Then there's butter made of cream and salt, dry whey, cornstarch, salt, mono and diglycerides, natural flavors, soy lecithin. Then brown rice crisps that are whole grain brown rice flour, sugar, malted barley flour, salt. Then we have glycerin, invert sugar, semi-sweet chocolate chips that are made of sugar, chocolate liquor, cocoa butter, soy lecithin, and vanilla extract, milk protein concentrate, salt, water, natural flavor, mixed tocopherols to preserve freshness, citric acid to preserve freshness. So I have to admit, I lost count in how many sweeteners were in there. All the palm oil, palm kernel oil, these vegetable oils are not supporting our health. And like I said, normally I ignore that percent daily value, but we do have a nutrition nugget on percent daily value if you're curious why I typically ignore that. But with that said, 9 grams of saturated fat is about 47% of the daily value for saturated fat in this one little bar for your post-workout. So all of this is like a whoa for me. I mean, this is just a post-workout snack. I'm sorry, I'm like really stuck on this. So if someone had this and ate other animal protein in their day, I mean, to me, this is why Americans have health challenges, right? So anyway, back to the ingredients that's like a minefield of a list. I just want to highlight one more thing because we haven't talked about it before, and that's something called TBHQ. And it stands for tertiary butyl hydroquinone. And I probably butchered that, but whatever. So it's an additive that acts like an antioxidant, but unlike antioxidants that we talk about from fruits and vegetables, this one is different. So it acts like a preservative. It extends the shelf life and prevents things from going bad. It especially prevents fats from going bad, but not surprisingly, it's a bit controversial. So researchers have seen increased incidence of tumors in rats. Other studies have shown vision disturbances in humans. The National Library of Medicine references studies showing liver enlargement, neurotoxic effects, convulsions, and even paralysis in lab animals because of TBHQ. So in particular, if you or your kids have ADHD, I will let you know that TBHQ is one of the ingredients that is on the do not eat list from the Feingold diet, which is a nutritional approach to ADHD. So you can dig deeper into TBHQ. You can also dig deeper into the Feingold diet if you want to. But for today, suffice to say, this ingredient is a red flag for me among some of the other things. So all in, right? This whole thing for me is like a red flag. And, you know, even if you're willing to say, okay, it's not a meal or a snack, it's strictly post-workout. I would also say it's only post-workout for someone looking to bulk up or gain weight. And even then, I'd actually recommend that they do so with protein and complex carbohydrates versus this bar. So honestly, like all I can say is wow. Like this is such a good example of branding and marketing that likely leads a person to believe that this is a quality choice from a very recognizable brand. And it's possible that kids in your life might see it on a shelf and ask for it. Because again, it's a brand they know. And we often, you know, they might have other products from this brand. So for me personally, this one is a hard pass. You get to do you though, right? Hopefully what this allows you to do is make an informed choice about the Gatorade protein bars. And of course, a little gentle reminder, you'll want to read the label of each flavor because we know that they aren't all the same. So there you have it, the scoop on Gatorade protein bars. Well, as always, everybody, I'm your host, Jen Trepeck. Connect with me on all social media. I'm at Jen Trepeck, JENNTREPECK. Website is asaladwithasideofries.com. Pick your platform, send a message. My favorite thing is hearing from you. So send your ideas, your takeaways, your questions. This is also the easiest way to learn more about working with me as your health coach. And friend, if you're not already, join our membership by going to glow.fm/saladwithasideofries. This shows your support for this podcast, this community, and most importantly, it supports your health. You'll get this week's recipe for the pumpkin pie chia pudding, and a complimentary call with time management expert Anna Dearman-Kornick, this week's featured guest. Well, friends, that's it for today's episode of Salad with a Side of Fries. Congratulations for making yourself and your health a priority. Thanks so much for joining us. Be sure to click subscribe or follow on your favorite podcast platform. Share us with a friend, and we'll be back next week. Always remember, you deserve it, and you are worth it. Happy healthy.